Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. Today's super fun one. We'll be talking about downtown Denver living and if it's for you.
All right, let's check it out, guys. What's up, guys? I'm Eli Schmidt. This is my partner, Will Grimes, and if it's your first time checking out the channel, welcome. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell. That way you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday when we drop a new video telling you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the entire Denver, Colorado area.
100%, and we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, which means just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that's popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if there is something we can do for you, we would love to. However, let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. Downtown, I'm clean today. White and black, little.
Get fresh, man.
I'm gonna go down to Ocean Prime, have me a little prime meal. Let's talk about it. Either way, all jokes aside, downtown is amazing. We talk about a lot of the recreation you can do down there and just everything between the Rockies, you know, the Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets, football season with the Denver Broncos. We got Russell Wilson in town. High expectations, high energy.
That's right.
You've got the Buell Theater.
Yes.
You've got the other theater. You've got all sorts.
Opera House.
The Opera House. You've got 16th Street Mall.
Yep.
Food lifestyle down there is super cool. So we've talked about a lot of that.
Yep.
We haven't dove in too much as far as like downtown is, hey, living and what that looks like, and then figuring just like, hey, if we can give you guys some pointers as far as what it does look like, could that be for you or not?
Yeah, now Denver, guys, is not known for a ton of skyscrapers. Now, Denver has a beautiful skyline and it is ever growing, but we're definitely not one of those downtown cities where it's just skyscrapers as far as the eye can see.
Right.
However, Denver has a handful of really notable, very, just beautiful and eye-catching high-rises for condos.
Correct. And for example, like the Four Seasons, most people don't realize that I think it's like the 12th floor and up, it is available for purchase. You can live at the Four Seasons, which is awesome. Personally, not that you guys care, if I were living downtown, I'd be taking all his money and everybody else's money and I'd be living down in the Four Seasons. Obviously, it's not very, for my lifestyle with having kids and how I like to have my kids, not that you can't live downtown and have kids. Brad Pitt, I'm sure everybody does it, but just for me personally, suburbia and then just going downtown for activities. We've got season tickets to the Rockies, Broncos, other stuff, super fun. But just for an example, we'll get into some of these other buildings, but Four Seasons, amazing amenities, amazing scratch kitchen, a lot of cool stuff, and it's right there in the heart of downtown, just off of 16th Street.
Yeah, and one of the primary first points that we want to talk about is downtown living right for you is the type of homes that you have there. Now, what you're going to find pretty much solely in downtown Denver is only going to be condo living, right? Not even any townhomes really in downtown. It is all condos. Now, they're not all high-rise condos like the Spire, like Glass House, like Four Seasons, or not all those types. A lot of these will be very old historic buildings. Maybe they were factories and they've been converted into condos. And those are really cool because they're maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 or maybe 6 stories tall. And there's a very cool industrial look inside with exposed ventilation, some natural raw brick. They get pretty cool.
And the raw brick with like the stainless steel air conditioning pipes running around, or sometimes they'll paint them black. So you have like just the old school red brick with like black. I gotta admit, like it's a really cool look. People try to mimic that in suburbia with some rooms, but nothing can replace like when you have something designed that way and you live downtown. Like, it is hard to beat. It is super cool.
It is cool. And that just plays in with Denver and how much of the historic background that Denver tries to preserve.
Correct.
That is one really cool thing, such as we discussed in our Oxford video, which you guys have not seen that, we'll link it down below. But Denver really likes preserving the history. When you find those converted lofts, it's just a huge part of that.
Well, and fun fact, even outside of like these condos that we're talking about, it's still similar for like not only city, but county of Denver as well. So some of these old historical parks, Wash Park, areas in 5 Points, and some different areas that surround Denver, that's still Denver County, those old Victorian style homes are also protected, and there's only so many different changes you can make to a house specifically. And they have minimums as far as like how many have to be maintained and stay. So there's just laws against scraping them. and taking them down to build something new. They do let you do that in some spaces, but if it's an old Victorian, they do not. It has to be reestablished, and so much integrity or whatnot of the home has to stay. So it's not just these condos, it's literally the Denver County as well. Really cool. And it's nice that you can go down and still feel some of that, the historic feel of Denver.
It's true. And in these condos, one of the biggest desirable factors about them is that you're going to have some of the absolute best views in the entire state as far as the entire front range, sunsets. And when you start getting above that like 12 level floors, your views get pretty crazy. And if you can get one of those condos like in the Spire or Glass House, for example, with panoramic windows, man, that's really hard to beat.
And walkability is not terrible. Colorado is still a very car-friendly state, as in if you're going to be going to the mountains or out of the city, you're going to want to have a car. It's because we have snow and inclement weather, you're going to want to have a car. However, if you are living in downtown and you're okay to walk a couple blocks, it's not hard to go to Ball Arena where the Nuggets and Avalanche play, or Coors Field, or across the highway. They do have some walking areas where you can cross the highway or go under the highway over to Invesco Field where the Denver Broncos play. So still very walkable as long as you're okay with a couple blocks.
Now, as you make your way a little bit further north, out of downtown, right into like the Five Points District, aka Rhino, that's where you're gonna start to see some more townhomes. Still very much like that urban feel as far as design, a lot of modern stuff there, but you're gonna start to find more townhomes there than condos.
And you've got some single family homes as you continue to go, you know, a couple blocks further on the outskirts. That art district is amazing. You've got some old school breweries that have, you know, overtaken some of those old industrial buildings and made breweries out of them. Really cool. There's still a lot of growth that's ever coming as far as like Rhino, right? So it's a good spot, but expect construction, expect buildings to be remodeled, expect still some of that pending, in progress, right? Like you're just gonna have some activity out there, whether it's commercial or scrapes that happen out there. There's just a lot going on as far as like where it's gonna be going in the next couple of years. If you're okay with that, you can get yourself a spot at a great price and have a ton of equity in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yes, now it is Denver, so it is still very dog friendly, right? Now don't think that because you don't have a yard that you're not gonna be able to have a dog in these places. All of these developments are very, very dog friendly, and the majority of them do provide ample space or green areas or grass to be able to take your dog out for a walk.
Correct, like our little penthouse at the Pullman, that's not for purchase, you can rent there. However, even that place, which is extraordinarily nice, we've had a great time there, they're dog friendly.
Yeah, they have a little dog wash area.
Minus your dog pooping in the break area or pooping in the event space on the rooftop or in the pool.
That did happen.
True story, right before we threw a real estate event.
Yes.
They got cleaned up, everything was okay, I'm being dramatic. Either way, like outside of like your dog like being in the pool or up in like the rec area, more than okay with it. So if you guys are enjoying your animals or whatever it may be, like, because again, Colorado's so dog friendly, there's not too many places that don't entertain that.
True. Now, let's say you want to live downtown or as close to downtown as possible, but you're really hoping to get a single family home. One of the top places we're gonna recommend is that you go across the Millenium Bridge, which is located right near the Denver skate park. What's that park called right there?
I don't know.
It's not
but the way he says the bridge, I just want to clear something up. It doesn't mean that if you're not a millennial, you can't use the bridge.
True.
All right, so if you're 38 and older, they still let you on the bridge.
They do. They definitely do.
Okay. And it doesn't mean that nothing but millennials live in the Highlands.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that at all. You have all ages, young professionals, working professionals, middle-aged, whatever you want to call it, but it's not, he wasn't being facetious when he said millennial bridge.
Millennium Bridge.
As much as it sounds like it's not.
Yes.
All ages, anyone can use that.
Nor is it the Millennium Falcon. It is just the Millennium Bridge.
Correct.
You're going to head over there. You're going to check out the Highlands. Around the Highlands, or Lower Highlands, or Low High as they like to call it, you're also going to find Sunnyside, Berkeley, and then West Highlands. All of those are also very, very desirable single family homes areas.
And I have to mention this every time we even mention this area. Little Man Ice Cream.
That's right.
I don't think you can live there. I might negotiate that. I'd be a little heavier than I am now.
To get some ice cream?
Cool. Yeah, but the food over there is super cool. And going across Millenium Bridge, it really is a walk in the park as far as crossing the highway, getting yourself into the heart of downtown, right? Like it's not a big deal. And like the food that's over in the Highlands is super hard to beat. They've got new restaurants all the time. Food trucks go there. You've got the park, the dog park. Really cool little tucked in neighborhood. But again, Sunnyside, some other neighborhoods that are still right next to it. In my opinion, they're almost like, I would be more sought after, like a Sunnyside, depending on where you want to be or what the price point you want to be, because some of those areas that are immediately around the Highlands might be hotter than the Highlands because you've got the single family homes. You don't have it overflowing quite yet. There's going to be a lot of equity there for people that are in there early Highlands is very known, very popular. You're going to be more top dollar. Even in a slower market, you're still going to be paying a certain price. But I'm excited for like the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Very similar like Wash Park. Washington Park is amazing. But Harvard, Gulch, and some other areas started popping off years later because you can only fit so many people in a Wash Park, and unless something's for sale, it's pretty much maxed out, right? But there's some other amazing areas around DU that are phenomenal that became very popular, and people gained a lot of equity and just a lot of pleasure from living there. And they were only like half a mile from Wash Park, so they could still commute and go enjoy Wash Park while living very close, but gained on the equity. And as much as we love talking about the pleasure ability of areas and where you guys want to live, we also want to remind you of like that business decision and making that good decision. So making sure that you're coming out on top and utilizing the wealth that's possible for the purchase of your home.
One of the last points that I want to talk about here is the downtown Denver lifestyle, the downtown Denver vibe. It is that going to coincide with your lifestyles. So one thing I want to point out about downtown Denver is that, especially compared to big cities, it's just a slower, more low-key vibe. For example, I'm talking specifically about like a Friday and Saturday night. Denver doesn't have the biggest club scene. We don't have a ton of like big music scenes down there.
You got Market Street. You've got a couple
Market
things.
Street. So what would be considered lower downtown, Lodo, we'll highlight it on a map. That's going to be your hustle and bustle on a Friday and Saturday night from, I don't know, 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. when the bars let out. But for the most part, it's a fairly like slow vibe. Like people get after their work so much in Denver, you're not seeing like partying all week long.
No, believe it or not, like 11, 12 o'clock, that thing starts to die down a little bit. Like
Sure.
you don't have a ton of congestion that's down there. And if people stay till 2 a.m. when the bars let out, we've been known to do that a long time ago back when we were young bucks and had more energy for that.
A little bit,
We've gone out a couple of times. It lets out at 2 a.m. There's not that many people walking around at 2 a.m. Like most of them are out of there by 11 or so. So just not known for being like the loudest, most obnoxious or late owl type of city.
It's true. It's true. So even if you are living in those areas, you know, it's not something to be concerned about, especially if you are maybe a little bit older like Will and I, and, you know, you're done with your partying days.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be close to the hustle and bustle, but not right in it necessarily. Again, between Lawrence, Larimer, Market Street, and parts of Wazee, those are probably the busiest streets during those times. But outside of that, guys, it's pretty sleepy there.
And you've got View House down there, and a lot of those places are open like mid to late afternoon. So if you want to go grab lunch and things like that, it's not like it's only for nightlife. A lot of those breweries and just View House and those locations, they're awesome. Their food is super good. You can utilize it late afternoon, early evening, happy hours, and you'll have a lot of fun. And there's great vibe happy hour times for those places. So don't feel like you've got to stay out late or you're not going to be able to like embrace and enjoy that. Definitely take advantage of it.
True. Now, if you are looking at buying one of these condos, whether that's old historic loft or it's one of the new high rises at Glass House, one thing you're definitely going to want to make sure is that you have a parking space that is deeded with the property or the ability to purchase one along with the property.
Correct.
Because again, even if you're coming here and you don't have a vehicle right now, at some point just being in Colorado, you're probably going to want to pick one up, and having a place to park that is covered, that is secure, that is in your residence is going to be huge because Denver is mostly street parking.
And that's great for like resale, right? You guys can have that, whatever it may be, but some great spots, a lot to think about. While you guys are thinking about it, just throw the reminder out there for you guys to think about as well. And that's that number that's popping up right there because you might have more questions on downtown Denver or any of these surrounding areas that we've been talking about. And just as we remind you in the beginning, we remind you at the end, yes, we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado. And yes, just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that's still there. We are the guys to answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails.
That's right.
So if there's something we can do for you guys, we would love to. Otherwise, we're filming this right now. It's Labor Day weekend. You guys will see it coming out this week. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Enjoy your families and your fun and whatever it may be. And when you get back to the week and you're crushing it, we are excited to help you guys moving forward.
All right. We'll see you guys.